Certainly many people that I've talked with at times seem to be grappling with this, and I feel like I know my own version of this question around, uh, so there's something that's discovered, there's a sort of some sort of, however we might label it, an insight, an awakening, some sort of realization of something that feels more fundamental and true about this. And then there's this sense often of that somehow slipping away, right? And losing access to that. And I've drifted off into something else other than that. And then I feel like, gosh, how come it keeps slipping away, right? How come it feels like I've lost contact with that understanding, with that ground? And sometimes people talk about this in terms of, realizing something and then getting that which has been realized to remain, to abide, where there's not the same sense of it, coming and going, right? Is that familiar to anyone? Yeah. Um, so I think the central reason why that sense often continues to occur to us, a sense of kind of going in and out of something, of sort of realizing something, then seemingly losing it, and so on, is that just the sort of default almost that we have of orienting to the particulars of experience and how experience seems to be showing up, its particular color and flavor, uh, all this incredible diversity, right? And so we're orienting in that sense to all the ways that this is distinct, one instant from the next, one moment from the next. And depending on, how we tend to sort of categorize, consciousness sort of categorizes all of this that's appearing, all this diversity. There is this, and I talk about this a lot, there's this kind of hierarchy that's created of, whether just in an ordinary human context of searching for fulfillment and well-being and so on, or more of a whatever spiritualized kind of context of enlightenment or awakening, that we try to put those two things together, the discovery of what we're searching for, and then the hierarchy. And the hierarchy, as we encountered, the seeming hierarchy of experience, this is better than that, this is more valuable than that, this is closer to what I'm wanting than that, and so on. This is closer to awakening and enlightenment and freedom than that. Well, this is how we end up feeling like we're just being kind of tossed around, like moving in and out of this. And this is why I emphasize, finding, if you will, kind of anchoring ourselves in what is common to all of this. The equalness of everything, the basis of everything that is not different, the ground of everything. Because the more we see that, the more we come to understand that, it dawns on us either, in whatever way it dawns on us. Often it seems kind of gradually over time as it sort of seeps in deeper and deeper that there is no losing this ground, because the ground is the ground of all of this. It's not like you can touch the ground and somehow lose the ground, because any state of mind that might appear that we are defining as having lost touch with the ground is, of course, made of the ground, right? And in that sense, the notion of something that's discovered abiding, remaining, is moot, because it cannot ever be lost, because it's the only thing that exists. So there's different sort of tricks we can use as this kind of anchor point to what is fundamental about each seemingly different, distinct moment. And a beautiful, simple one is the isness. This is. And the isness is, right, the very basis of each thing that appears, each arising, each instant is its existence, its isness. And that is never lost, is it? That cannot be lost. You just feel that. The impossibility of the isness disappearing, being swept away by experience. No experience ever removes the isness somehow. The isness is the basis of every experience. Right now, this is it. this is the very absolute reality, the isness of everything that's here right now, showing up as this particular thing we call the moment. The moment is. And it always is, isn't it? No matter how it looks, it is. Let it be that simple. I mean, it's simple, but nothing more profound than isness, than the palpable, luscious, rich sense of this, of being, the feeling of each instant, the isness of it. It's always being felt, isn't it? Everything's being felt. The feeling of the moment is the isness. Blazing isness. Shining, shimmering as each momentary perception. There it is. That's the isness. Here it is. And it's here, it's so clearly here of its own doing. It's generating itself. And whatever we might be, as these creatures we seem to exist as, in one sense, is the isness. Like we're not, a sense of I am, often emphasized in teaching, spiritual teachings, is the isness, right? It's not, this is, I am is not separate from this is. It's just the same thing. This this existence. It shows up as all this differentiated seeming complexity, all the parts and pieces of life, this incredible, intricate, complex dance of interaction and relationship and seeming cause and effect, and this whole, right, the whole thing. And all of it, the isness. I mean, isness causing isness. Is that really cause and effect? Not really. There's not two things, one causing another, not really. But it can appear like that. There's nothing causing. I mean, this is a strange thing. There's just nothing causing anything else. Because there's no pieces, there's no parts. When you look up at the blue sky, you don't see pieces and parts of the sky. You see a single expanse, don't you? Undivided. But it's sort of like consciousness does this thing where it picks out a little section of the sky and goes, oh, there's that piece of sky, and there's another piece of sky. But it's this vast, boundless, limitless expanse of sky, the isness of it all, the being of it all. So that it's absolutely impossible to lose this, isn't it? There's where would it go? I mean, every wave of experience is lost instantaneously, and yet this remains, doesn't it? This pure mystery of being, of isness. In those moments where it feels like there's some sort of entanglement in all of the descriptions and narratives, and as part of that, a sense of having lost contact with this isness, there's always that opportunity right there to see that this isness has not been lost, you see. That there's a belief that could arise that because a certain kind of experience is happening that we don't equate with the ground, with the isness, right? That somehow is representative of having lost something. Right there, there's this opportunity to see, if you want to describe it this way, re-anchor in the isness, which hold that lightly because it's really not like that, right? I mean, the whole thing of seemingly having no contact with the isness to realizing there's this being, this isness underlying everything, to feeling like that's been lost, to then re-recognizing it and feeling like it's more abiding. That entire thing, that entire description of a process that I just described um, as a process is the isness. So in that sense, there's no journey to the isness. There's no, because there's no having ever left the isness. There's no returning to what we've always been. It can feel like that because there can be this sense of having left the ground and where's the ground, and then feeling like, oh, I'm back home, you know, I'm touching this ground. It's the richness and the meaningfulness and the nourishing nature of the ground. And it can feel like it went away somehow. And then again, there's this opportunity to look and see, did it really go away? No, it can't go away. Because the nourishing, this unstoppable radiance of, let's call it the creative force of the universe, is unstoppably shining as every instant. It cannot go away. This, so in that sense, this self abides. It's always being itself, always being its mysterious presence, its mysterious isness. And it is our life, what we think of as our life, our daily walk of life, and all of its seeming complexities and each little aspect of our lives, each little moment of making a cup of tea and embracing your loved ones and struggling with some project at work and being confused about what the isness might be and how to abide more as the isness. The whole thing is isness. The whole thing is life's ceaseless, undulating, morphing dynamism. Last thing just to say about this is that to see that the isness is not a particular state. It's not a particular, it's really not a particular moment of realization, actually. It is every instant. That's the realization. That's the deepest realizations are the ones that reveal the impossibility of this ever going anywhere. It's unbreakable, inviolable, indestructible nature. It's not a particular moment, it is all moments. It is not a particular state of consciousness, it's all states of consciousness, is the isness. Here it is, sitting here with one another. It's that simple and that profound.